ChiroSushi family, happy Taco Tuesday, coming to you live from Miami, Florida, the home of ChiroSushi Summer Camp 2019, featuring, I can't say it because I'll get arrested by Sean Dillon Lacey Book, but oh my God, I just got someone today that is going to cause an uprising. It's amazing the people that we've had before, including our very own guest today, Hailey, Jules, from Inspired Practice Solutions. You can go to inspiredpracticesolutions.com to learn more. But Hailey was just a mega all-star. So much feedback, great feedback from her talk at ChiroSushi Summer Camp this last summer. And you've been globetrotting around the world, Hailey, I've been seeing.
I have. Well, thank you for having me today, Tristan. And hello, Lacey, I see on the on the corner here. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here today.
I had a question for you about the globetrotting, because you got to hang out with Travis Corcoran.
Yes.
Okay, Travis is an amazing chiropractor in Europe. Tell me about what you learned that's going on in Europe and what's not going on, or what you learned that's different between Europe and America from a perspective of the CA.
Yes, great question. So one thing that I noticed was a really big difference is, I have to say, I was actually proud of how we're doing communicating the posture-organ relationship here in the US. So I did have the opportunity to go into not only Travis's office, but I went and checked out some other offices in the area. And what I found, and I talked to locals and interviewed them and asked them what they thought about chiropractic. And just like we see oftentimes here, most of them felt that it was just about back pain or about getting those cracks. And so that was a huge difference I saw in chiropractic. And then speaking with Travis, what I learned is they don't have amazing events like ChiroSushi over there. They don't have very many.
They have Axiom. I'll give a shout out to Jonathan. Axiom. Axiom's great, you know.
Absolutely. I plan on.
There's another one over there, but they don't like us so much. So.
Oh, then we won't. I don't even know who that is. But Axiom is amazing, up and rising for sure. So as far as the CAs, you know, it's really interesting going all over the US and then to some other places around the world as well, is I see the same things there as we have here, the same issues with teams and same problems. One of the biggest ones that I see is, and one thing that I have to say, I think they've done a lot better there than we do here, is finding the work-life balance. That's a question I get a lot from team members. I work with a lot of high-volume practices where the teams are really running the practice, and these team members are rock stars, really well trained, of course. And something that they work on a lot is avoiding getting any sort of burnout. And I've even had chiropractors come to me and say, you know, I feel like I'm burning my CA out. What do I do? How do I keep them inspired? How do I keep them motivated? And that's something that I think they do an even better job at over there. Something in Dr. Travis's office, which I really love, is they actually work shorter hours and then just see more patients within those smaller amount of time. And so his team members and his doctors have a lot of time and live a very rich, fulfilled life outside of their practice hours. And I think it creates a much more inspired, motivated team that shows up ready to go. And then when they're out in the world, they're excited to talk about chiropractic and communicate chiropractic to people. So big kudos to Dr. Corcoran out there for creating an amazing work-life balance opportunity for himself and his teams.
Holy, you said something interesting about that they work shorter hours. Oop, the Lord's calling me, but I'm on with Hailey Jules right now, guys. You said something amazing about work-life balance there, because one of the things that comes up for me in America, the capitalistic, center of the world, is obviously inspiration can be fueled a lot by monetary basis, right? But we're finding that to be less and less true with millennials, and obviously the workforce that chiropractors are bringing on. It's not so much about money; it is about quality of life. How can you incorporate that into the day-to-day mundacity of a practice that happens.
Absolutely. For the team members, I think one of the ways is them understanding the why and purpose behind what they do. Especially with millennials, we want purpose. We want to be contributing more than anything else. So my CAs that understand that they're contributing to really transforming people's lives, they're willing to do whatever it takes. So if let's say everything you need your CA to do is presented as a task list, get these projects done, they're not going to be excited about it and eventually will get burnt out. If it's presented as like, hey, here's how we're changing people's lives every day. Here's what's happened with this patient. And here's what we're going to do to contribute to their life. All of a sudden now the CA is really excited because they have a mission. They have a purpose that's so far beyond themselves. People will always do more for others than they'll do for themselves.
How do you get them excited about chiropractic if they've never been involved in chiropractic, or should you not hire people that have not been involved? Is that something that you should stay away from, I guess?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just based off of my experience and what I've seen, I have seen doctors get better results when they hire someone that is already excited about chiropractic, someone that's gotten phenomenal results themselves, or maybe they have a family member that's gotten phenomenal results. Having said that, I truly believe I can shift anybody's perspective and mindset once they really understand what chiropractic is. They don't need to have exposure as long as they understand the power of it and what it does. And I think the biggest way to get them excited is with the results that we produce in practice. Okay. And staying excited about that. And not so much the results of, it's just like with patients or people in the community, not so much, hey, look, team, this curve, look at this curve, and this line is closer to this line. Not so much the medical results, but more the results of how it's changing someone's life. So if you have a team member that's a mom and you want to inspire them and keep them motivated, talk about the mom that was on your table today that now has more energy to play with her kids. Share that story with them. Share if you have a team member that's an athlete, why not share the athletes that are getting better, are performing better at their sport of choice because of their chiropractic care, and share those results and those stories. Same thing with patients, right? That's how you talk to a patient that was an athlete.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. Hailey, you're not one to pitch yourself because you're from the school that's the cool school, which I appreciate. But you tell the world what you do and what you provide just because it is ChiroSushi, and it's cool to get raw here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So the most unique thing that I provide is in-office transformational experiences for you and your team. And that's where I start with, Tristan, I'll start with meeting with the chiropractor, just like you and I are meeting here. And we meet and we look at, where's your practice now? Where do you want it to be by the end of your immersion experience? What are your biggest struggles with your team? What are your biggest struggles with your community, your practice? And then what I do is I customize an in-office transformational experience for their team. I come in, I'll do a flow observation. So for instance, I was just at Dr. Corcoran's we spoke of earlier. He has multiple practices. I went in and watched them during their peak flow. And what I was looking for is, how is the team communicating to the patients? But more importantly, how is that setting on the patient? So I'm watching the patient's body language, the patient's response to the team members. Are they understanding? Are they picking up on this? And what's the flow like? What are the systems like? Are there any kinks in the system that we can make even better? And then what I do is I work one-on-one with the team for a 15-hour in-office experience where we train, we drill, I teach on those specific things that the doctor wanted to see changes on. And as a result, we've gotten phenomenal results. I created this program because I personally have experienced incredible results from immersion learning. And what I've found in my research is it's the fastest way to make lasting changes, to immerse yourself in something, in a new concept, and make it part of who you are. So by the end of the experience, what my doctors are finding is those behaviors and shifts that they wanted to make in their teams are now permanent lasting change because they've been immersed in it. They've been role playing in it. They've been acting in a place of inspiration through the immersion experience. And we create lasting change so that they bring that into practice. And then numbers wise, they've gotten incredible results depending on the practice and where they're at and what their goals are. They've been able to grow from anywhere from 5% to 65% has been our high end in collections within the next quarter of the immersion. So, and they've experienced continual results there. Having said that, some of my practices actually aren't looking to grow their practice. They're looking to have a more inspired team or open new practices. So then I help them with that as well.
That's awesome. You know, yeah. You've worked with so many of the leaders in this profession. Actually, Bo Pierce just said, love it, rally the troops. Love the Bo over there.
Yes.
You've had, I believe you worked with Fred Domenico. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. In elite coaching. So I run all of their team. We used to call them breakout sessions. Now I call them breakthrough sessions. I go to their boot camps and I work with the teams one-on-one. We'll break out in another room and train and drill and become inspired leaders.
That's awesome. The feedback from your breakout at Sushi and the breakout at Mile High, I'm rocking a Mile High shirt, has nothing been phenomenal. You've taken the chiropractic world by storm. I think that you have such great intent, and I encourage people to check out Inspired Practice Solutions, inspiredpracticesolutions.com. Connect with Hailey and her team. If you're looking multiple different ways that she can work with you, I want to thank you for giving us some time today, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And anyone out there, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions on how you can create an empowered team of inspired chiropractic leaders.